What's up, YouTube? It's Big Fish here with another reaction video. Today we got CHARLAMAGNE the Fraud with Lord Trump. Of course, he's being disingenuous as they talk about Trump and his successful months in office. Let's hear what he has to say.
Here. Thanks for coming on My View.
Laura, thank you for having me. You did Breakfast Club. I had to return the favor.
Yeah, we're trying to reciprocate. I appreciate that very
right.
much. So look, we're 6 months into President Trump's second term in office. Now, I know you've been critical. You've had your bones to pick with President Trump. If you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like
Gas is down. You remember those eggs? Eggs are down. The economy is booming. Jobs are coming back to America. We're getting rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. What is he talking about?
the big beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation.
Medicaid for illegals. We know places like California. Okay.
And then, they were previously in. I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like, he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices were going to be down. And,
That has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid, we want to make sure that people who are not actual recipients or shouldn't be getting Medicaid are off of Medicaid so it can actually benefit more people. There is good stuff in that bill, though. You have the 2017 tax cuts that are made permanent, and that really is for everybody.
For who, though?
But that's for everyone. Everyone in this country is impacted by that. You also have things, by the way, like money going to school choice for parents all across this country. There is a lot of good that I think will come out of the big, beautiful bill. But what about things like...
Right now, people are hurting. And he campaigned on immediate change, day one change.
And you don't think you've felt any change? People aren't feeling change.
No.
Do you feel safer knowing that Iran will not have the ability to develop a nuclear weapon?
Iran?
Yeah.
Sure. I feel safe if you're telling me that a country won't have the ability to build a nuclear weapon.
Do you feel better knowing our borders closed?
Yes.
Okay, so there don't
get me wrong. There's certain things that I absolutely, understood. Like, as far as, border security. But I understood border security for different reasons. Like, people were complaining about the border because they felt like people were coming into, the country and, taking jobs away from people in certain areas and certain communities. And that is the conversation that I had been.
So people were coming into America and taking jobs. What people? CHARLAMAGNE the Fraud. Are they illegal people? Are they people who are actually gone through the system the proper way and are U.S. citizens? What type of people? Can you actually say?
And, for the past year and a half prior to the election, I understand that. But I want to see the criminals and illegal immigrants, actually deported.
Well, that's happening.
Not people who are here, trying to go through the process of being in this country legally. Like when you see people actually getting deported and getting detained and they're actually trying to go through the process of being American citizens, that's not right.
Well, we're allowing those people to leave. They actually get money to leave and then they get to reapply to come back here the right way. So,
but leave and go where?
They go back to their home country and then they
what if they've never even been to that country?
Well, they have been to that country. That's where they came here from. But let me ask you this. Hold on.
Some of them haven't, though. A lot of them haven't.
I don't know about
I've seen a lot of cases of people getting deported.
Well, some went to El Salvador who are from Venezuela, but those people have now been sent back to Venezuela. Let me ask you about how the Democrats have responded, though, in the first 6 months of this presidency.
So disingenuous.
How do you rate their response? Because it feels like to a lot of people watching, they don't really have an alternative. And it's a lot of, we hate this because Donald Trump is trying to do it. What do you think of how they've reacted?
When you look at Democrats' approval rating in this country, when you look at Republicans' approval rating in this country, you see that Americans are just fed up with it all. Like, Democrats suck. We know that already, though. You know what I mean? So it's
Wait. You just said Democrats said, but what about the Republicans' approval rating? You didn't elaborate.
Like, I knew that Trump would probably get in office again and fumble, but I also knew that Democrats wouldn't have the team put together properly to recover the ball. So what you're seeing
Fumble
right
what,
now
brother?
from just American people is just a backlash to everything. People want something different.
Well, when I was on your show back in, I think it was October of last year, you told me that you would have been happy to have voted for Kamala Harris as the nominee for the Democrat Party. I want to ask you, do you still feel that way? Do you think she was the best representative and the best person for the Democrats in their chance to have a president this term?
Yes, I would have voted for, I did vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. But absolutely. Because, if you look right now, she's looking pretty good because a lot of the things that she said, President Trump would do, he actually did. And, I did a segment on the Daily Show.
Wow. What Trump promised that he was going to do, he did. Wow. Great job, Sharma. This man right here.
After he became president, I was like, prove people wrong. Everything that everybody is saying about you, everything that they say you're going to do, all you got to do is simply not do. But he did it anyway.
Well, let me ask you.
Not like he was listening to me. I'm just simply saying.
He listens to everyone. He takes input from all around.
Wait.
So Kamala Harris, listen to this. She now says that she is not going to seek becoming governor of California. Here's her statement. She says, "For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fearlessly and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plan." Charlamagne, if you look at what Democrat primary voters think about some of the candidates, look at where Kamala Harris falls. She's number 2, right here behind Pete Buttigieg. Do you think she should run for president again?
She can do whatever she wants. I don't personally know if I would run for president if I was her. And if she does, she has to get a real connection with the people. I think that's something that she's always been missing. If you look at from 2020 to now, whenever you see her.
Because she ran as an Indian woman when she was AG down in California. And then she ran as a black woman when she was the president. Which one are you? Are you Indian? Are you black? What are you? Are you still cooking collard greens in a tub? Or are you making curry on the weekends? Which one is it? Which one is it, Kamala?
It always seems like it's transactional, right? Like she ran for president, so she was trying to get, people's attention for that. Then she became vice president. Then she became the actual nominee. People have never seen the VP just out having a conversation, doing what she says she wants to do right there, which is just being of service to the people in that way. And I think she just needs to establish a real connection with the people. I think any of those candidates that are attempting to run need to establish a real connection with the people. And I think that you do it by doing things like this. Like, you have to show up to the Fox Newses of the world. You have to show up to the Joe Rogan.
You remember the last time she showed up on a place called 60 Minutes? They had to edit the video. You remember when she showed up to The View? Whew. She showed up on Oprah. When she shows up on anything, she's just terrible. She's not a good speaker. She has to stop.
I think that in 2028, really now, until 2028, they should have their own platforms. They should be launching their own podcast.
You did. You had Joe Rogan.
She definitely should have done Joe Rogan. I told her that personally. But more importantly, I think now they should be launching their own podcast. I got to give people like Gavin Newsom props. I got to give people like Nikki Haley props, even though I don't like Gavin Newsom's podcast. But the fact he has established his own platform, and the fact people like Nikki Haley have established their own platform, that is how you're going to connect with people moving forward.
Well, I was going to ask you, what advice would you overall give Democrats? Sounds like for potential presidential nominees, you'd say they need to connect more with people. What overall advice would you give the party?
You got to throw the old regime completely under the bus. Whoever's going to be leading the party moving forward, whoever says that they're going to be the face of the party moving forward, you got to be willing.
What do you mean by that? They got to throw it to the side. You talking about all the progressiveness? What do you mean? What are you trying to exclude man from their party? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What, they're just promoting LGBTQA? What do you mean by that? Do what you want. Love who you want. But tell me, what do you mean, Charlamagne? What is the regime that you're talking about that's right now in the Democratic Party? AOC's fake. Does she care about Gaza or nah? She voted nay with that bill that they tried to get passed. Now they throwing red paint at her offices.
to throw that old regime
What a joke.
we just saw under the bus. I read Jake Tapper's The Original Sin, right? So when a lie of that magnitude is told, and not just a lie that, you know, we all read about, a lie that we saw with our own ears and heard with our own eyes, and then, you know, President Biden dropped out, you know, when it was way too late. Like when you see that happen, you got to be willing to throw that old regime completely under the bus and say, hey, I am presenting something totally new.
Charlamagne just came on here and just made a fool of himself. He truly believes Trump hasn't done nothing in the 6 months he's been in office. You gotta be a damn fool. You gotta be a damn fool to believe that he hasn't done anything while he's been in office. The countless wars he stopped. Come on now. The only war that is really just something I don't think honestly we can stop is just going to be going on, and it don't got no effect with us regardless. But Russia and Ukraine, they're just going to keep going back neck to neck. I mean, Russia's already taken over a lot of territory over there in Ukraine, and Ukraine's just pretty much hitting different sites, just making a mess over there for Russia. And it's not getting anything done. They want Zelensky out. They're tired of that man. They're tired of Zelensky. But it is what it is. If they want to keep warring and just letting people die for no reason, let them. We tried to stop him many a times. He didn't want. They don't want to stop fighting. Cool, let it be. With Charlamagne, when you come onto shows, just be honest, brother. Be honest, or say I don't know. Say I plead the fifth because I don't know. Alright, this is Big Fish here with another reaction video. Go down to the comment section. Tell me how you felt about the video. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Thank you. Peace.